Hi, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today's Monday, so that means story time and makeup. I am having a blast doing this series, you guys. I hope you're enjoying it as well. But yeah, we're going to get right into the story, which is called Man in the Window. And if you're new today, the biggest welcome to you. And we really hope by the end of this video, you hit the subscribe and notification bell to join this awesome family here. Okay, you guys, let's get into the Man in the Window. Okay, you guys, it's makeup and story time. Before we get started, I want to show you guys a clip. If you guys remember, or if you watched the last video of the ghosts and the haunting, and I mentioned that Kane acts a little strange in my, around my beauty room. Well, I filmed him acting strange, so I'll put that here. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Every time I'm in there, if he comes around, he just acts very strange. So I don't know, you guys. It could be just I'm in there and he might be seeing a reflection in the mirror. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's very weird. And today I'm actually going to be trying a new product. I didn't purchase it, you guys. I did not. But yeah, this company sent it over to me to try. The company is called Fabloox, and I think that's how it's pronounced. But they sent over like a foundation and a few plumping glosses. So we'll be trying that in this video. So I'm super excited to try that out. If I sound strange, you guys, my allergies are really kicking in. I mean, they're out of control. It was to the point where I was like, I don't even know if I can film today, but we are really going to push through this. Okay, you guys, I do have a disclaimer about this video too. I could be sensitive to some viewers, so I'm just going to give that a heads up. And it does because there is a part in this story that there are weapons involved. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. So, if you're sensitive to that kind of material, then this definitely is not for you. It's nothing bad, but yeah, I just won't be mentioning that, and I just want to put that out there. Okay, guys, let's begin. Yeah, it's a doozy story. It's not long, so hopefully I can coordinate the story with putting on my makeup. So some of it might be just me talking about the makeup today, you guys. Um, and I did get a new primer. It came in my BoxyCharm. It's from Bassy Beauty I don't know, you guys. I'm horrible. I am absolutely horrible. So how the story is going to start is, again, like I did tell you, there are things in here that are a little touchy. So I do want to start with a little background of Kurt and Daryl. The other videos I had mentioned that Daryl was in the service. He was in the army and he was a military policeman. So he does have training. Kurt was also in the army. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. He was in the reserves for about 3 years. So he is also trained, with weapons. I just want you guys to understand that they are very trained in, handling weapons. So just that is the disclosure about that. This primer is a little interesting. I hope that my shadows will work with it. It was a little tacky. So we will see. Okay. So the palette I'm using is this here. It's the LA Girl. I haven't used this in a while. It's the Nudie Cutie. I really, really liked it. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a huge mirror in here. And these are the shades that are in there. So I'm going to try to coordinate it with this top. I just got this off of Amazon. So really like it. It's super, super cute. Okay, you guys, how do I start with this story? So this is kind of recent. This is in the past, I'm going to say 3 years that this happened. It was, can't remember if it was like during COVID or right before COVID. I think it was before COVID. So it's been about 3 years. So every Tuesday, Daryl's sister and our brother-in-law come over. They've been doing this since we moved back home from Virginia. That's another story. And yeah, they just come over. We hang out. We do all these fun games. We like to do oh, what is it called? Name that tune. Daryl's sister is obsessed with that because she's She says she can't lose. And no, she really is good. She can, we can play any song and she will know it from any era. So anyway, that's what we do. We hang out. We have a great time with them. A lot of times we just go out to eat, blah, blah, blah. I'm just adding a lot of stuff in here, you guys, because I said this is a very short story. So, but I just want you to understand the relationship with Daryl's sister and brother-in-law. And the brother-in-law is a jokester. He will do things like one time, oh gosh, it was like, I don't know, on a weekend or something. And we knew they were going to come over, but we just didn't know when. And all of a sudden, I'm going out to let Kane out, and he's sitting on our back patio. I'm like, what the world? I go, how long have you been here? And he goes, for a while. So he was just sitting on our back patio. He's just that way. He likes to be funny about things. So it was funny, and we laughed about it and still laugh about it to this day. And so that is the type of person he is. So um, the night that this all happened, the man in the window, and I will say I'm not really liking this eye primer. It just feels very interesting, and I feel like it is a little patchy. So, and I know this palette is not a patchy palette, so it's the primer. But anyway, we're gonna keep going, you guys. So the night of the man in the window, we were hanging out. As we always do, having a great time. And they stay very late sometimes. And they come over on a Tuesday, even though we all work. Well, they don't work on Wednesdays because my sister in law owns a hairdressing salon. So their days off are Tuesday and Wednesday. But Daryl and I have to be, well, I don't work Wednesday. So Daryl's actually the only person that has to work on Wednesday. And so, they were over quite late. Left, I want to say it was maybe, oh gosh, you guys, it could have been midnight. It was very late. And Daryl went to sleep because he had to work the next morning. I had my little insomnia thing going on, and I wanted to watch my episode of This Is Us. So I turned that on. And are any of you huge This Is Us fans? And I'd love to know. I'm so sad that, we're heading down to the last three episodes. I feel like I'm going to lose my, good friends on Tuesday night. Yeah, that was such a good show. But anyway, guys, so that's what I was doing. I was watching This Is Us. I want to say I had a snack or something watching it. And, I just kind of was dozed out very, into my episode. I think I even fell asleep at one point because, I woke up, I do remember having to rewind it because I knew I had, missed some of the episode. And real quick, you guys, this is why eye primer is so important. Yeah, that was not a good primer. I don't know if anyone has used it and it's like a big deal, but yeah, that is just not my favorite for sure. So I will be decluttering that immediately. Um, okay, and now I'm going to go in with the sheglam, and I've been using the black one. This one is actually brown, so I'm going to use that today. Oh, yeah, you guys. Oh, this is so bad. It's like clumpy in some parts. Oh well, it is what it is. So let's see if I can put this on because browns can be either they're good or they're really bad. So, but the black one is super good. Yeah, this one is just like the black. It's super pigmented. Very smooth, as you can see how easy it was to create that wing. I'm going to do that reverse falsie today, and for that I use the Ardell, and these are the 120 black. I just find that these are the easiest, and I cut off like the last two um, lashes of each of those, just so they fit better. And I'm going to use this mascara. It's called Item. It looks like this. I did get this in my BoxyCharm. I've used it a couple times, and I really, really like it. Okay, back to the story, you guys. Um, so let me explain the layout of my home just so you can understand that it's not a very big home. It's just a ranch, but we do have a full basement. So there's the kitchen and the living room, and I'll put up a picture here so you guys can understand that. So the living room is very large, and we have a huge window right in the front, and the front door is right next to that. And I was in the couch, I'm on the couch when I took this picture, so that's exactly where I was. Right behind me is a hallway, and directly, behind me is my mom's bedroom off the hallway. At the end of the hallway, there is the bathroom. Our bedroom is off to the left, and my beauty room is off to the right. And my son was in the basement. It's a large basement downstairs. So that is the layout. Hopefully, you guys can picture it somewhat in your head. So I was looking, how just something grabs the corner of your eye. And I just saw something in the window, and it was like off, the person was off to the left. If you look in at that window again, it's like at the area of where the curtain was halfway open. So I seriously thought it was my brother-in-law, being the jokester that he is. So I'm like, I thought they had forgotten something. Now, you guys, a lot of time had gone on, so I don't even know how I possibly thought it could be him, you guys. I really don't, but I really did. It's like my brain could not comprehend that somebody was sitting there, and I don't know how for long, staring at me. Um, so I panicked once I realized it was not my brother-in-law, and I'm just screaming at this guy. I'm like, my husband is home. And he just kind of sat there and smiled at me, you guys. And that, I think, is the most creepiest. I'm like, what is this guy's problem? It's in the middle of the night. He's staring at me. Like I said, I don't know for how long. Now, we did not have cane at the time, so maybe it has been a lot longer than I thought. But so we just had Zoila, and she, it's a little chihuahua, and she was in the bedroom with my mom with the door closed. I'm gonna go in with the rare beauty, guys. I'm going to kind of pause here because this is when it gets crazy. And we have that new foundation we gotta test. So I'm using the Rare Beauty. I love this. It adds such a beautiful glow. And my makeup seems to last really well when I use it. Okay, you guys, so we're going in with this Fabloox new foundation. And I got mine in the shade Almond. So this is what the packaging looks like here. I hope it's not too light. It says it's an anti-aging second skin. It's breathable, smooth coverage. It's created with stem cell complex. There's only 7 shades, and it's $19.99. So let's check out the shade. Oh, I think it might be okay, you guys. Okay, and when I put it on, it feels very almost like a moussey texture, but it's not. Maybe it's just because it's thick, but it is kind of light. So I'm hoping this kind of oxidizes. So let's go in. I'm just going to try it with a brush on this side. Yeah, it's a little light. So I'm going to have to darken this up with some bronzer. And it's not too light, but it is light. Let me see what it looks like on this side. Hmm, very skin-like. I don't feel like it's going in my pores. Hmm, it is not bad, you guys. I think with the brush would be best. I think if I used a sponge, it's just going to soak right into that sponge because it's not like a full coverage. But it does seem like it could be buildable. Oh boy, this is really light. Oh my gosh. Should have got a darker shade. I will definitely have to use some kind of adjuster if I do use this again. But it is a very nice foundation. It's more like a serum type feeling. It's really just a different texture for sure. This isn't bad, you guys. I'm pretty impressed. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so this guy is staring at me in that window, and the way, like I said, he's kind of like at that time off to the left of the window, kind of like almost halfway in and halfway out the window. But I can see him, staring at me and smiling, and like I said, I screamed at him, saying my husband is here, he's sleeping. And I don't know if he thought I was lying, how women just do that, like there's a man in the house, but there's really not. But Daryl really was. And if you remember from the one story, Daryl's a very sound sleeper. He still is, not all the time, but of course, this night he, had fallen into a deep sleep. And that's probably because, they had stayed late and, it was late. He was tired. But I'm screaming at this guy, listen, there is a man in the house. He will come at you. I'm just going on, and he's just standing there smiling at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is nobody hearing me? My mother is very hard of hearing, so she's not hearing me scream. I'm like, this is ridiculous, and I'm running back, and forth down the back hallway trying to get somebody's attention. And again, I said, nobody is hearing me. I'm telling this guy I'm going to call the police. He just again just stared, stands there staring and smiling at me. And at this point I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going to go on? What does this guy want? It was more creepy than anything because, at that time I knew, he didn't look like he had a weapon. He would have probably shown his weapon at that point, if that was the case, or he didn't have like backup to where they were going to break into the home, that I had saw, because that's another story, you guys, that had happened at one time in our lives. So I just was very confused and getting really upset that nobody is hearing me. And finally, I just rushed into our bedroom where Daryl was sleeping, and I just started screaming at Daryl. I'm like, there is a man in the window. And at first, again, you guys, he really didn't move. And I'm like, what is going on here? Am I like in the Twilight Zone? Why is this happening? So finally, I think he finally did hear, me. Obviously, he did. And, by his bedside, he does, hold a weapon there. And, he grabbed it like out of speed force, literally jumped so fast out of that bed and went running to the living room, where this guy is in the window. Well, he sees him as he's coming down that hallway because, again, you can see in that, that window. And at the same time, he's coming around the corner. My son comes up with a weapon from the basement. And to this day, I don't know what my son was doing that he didn't hear me screaming. He thought that I said he has a gun. And I think I did. But I meant my husband had a gun. Well, Kurt thought somebody was at the house and had a gun. So he came up with his weapon, and they're both like charging this window just to scare the guy. I mean, they were never going to do anything. He was outside, and they're like, we're going to call the police, blah, blah, blah. Well, he did not move even after seeing my husband because I don't think he saw the weapon at that time. And he's just staring there, smiling. And so finally, Daryl and Kurt, are pointing like, you need to leave, guy, you got to leave this, this premises. So as soon as he saw them with their weapon, he went flying down, away from the window. And I was just so horrified that any of that even happened, and just felt dirty that somebody was staring at me in my, that window, um, for I don't know how long, you guys. That's the part that freaks me out. Is, like I said, I fell asleep at one point, and I don't know how long he had been there. Yeah, and that is just the creepiest part of it all. So we called the police, and they seem to have gotten here in a pretty good time. It didn't seem too long, and they came and, of course, asked a bunch of questions. And they said they were going to go look for this guy. And they asked, what direction he went, what he was wearing. Of course, I could totally answer those questions because I had seen the guy long enough to know exactly what he had on and stuff. So they went searching the neighborhood for this guy. And it had been, quite some time before the police came back. And, we said, "Did you get him?" And they said, "Yes, we did get the guy." And they said, "You don't have to worry. He's mentally ill." Well, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't hurt us. You know what I mean? People, a lot of times that are mentally ill, those are the people that are going to hurt you. So I didn't know what they meant by that. Like that was supposed to make me feel better or something. And it didn't. It almost made me feel worse and almost made me feel like, you know, lady, you're overreacting type thing. I don't know. I just didn't like their response. I'm like, does this guy, have you had problems with, him before? And they were just very vague about it, which I don't know, you guys. That's a part that just really get frustrated, with, criminals, or I don't know if he was a criminal, but, he kind of is just staring in people's homes. And, they protect them, they have more rights than I do. I want to know all the information about this guy because if I ever come into contact with him again, I want to know his full story. If he had ever been in trouble with the law. Oh, I use this, you guys, the sheglam powder. I've been really liking that, and I do like it when I do have to set under my eyes, but with this concealer, I went back and got the right shade, you guys, the Wet n Wild Incognito. This is in the shade light beige, and I think that's a really good match. But yeah, this you do not need to set. That's what I do love about it, you guys. Honestly, I will say, out of all the drugstore concealers, this is my favorite. It really is a good concealer for my under eyes. I think it works really well. Even Daryl, I wore it yesterday, and he mentioned something. He said, "Your under eyes look really smooth," and I'm like, he never says anything about my makeup, so I'm gonna keep using this one, you guys. Yeah. So back to how I felt like the police were just they just didn't give me any information. I kind of was looking for more. It just kind of bummed me out. I would have liked to know more about this guy's story. Like I said, if I ever came in contact with him again, which we never did. I'm sure, he was just, maybe a homeless guy or something, maybe looking for food, or I don't know, you guys. And I really wasn't wanting to find out at that point. But the even more disturbing part about this, you guys, is my mother went to open that front door. It was unlocked. He could have came in on at any second. We're normally very, very good about checking all of our doors before we go to bed. For some reason, we didn't that night. Also, would have taken for him to just turn that handle, and he would have been in our home. And that's the part that just scares me so bad. But yeah, you guys, that was a horrifying night. And for the longest time, I couldn't even really be in that room. If I did, all of the, blinds or whatever those are, needed to be, completely closed because they're up downs. So that's why the ones are just halfway down. So I made sure it was sealed shut. I could not be in that room for the longest time by myself. I mean, I'm much better now, especially now that we have Kane. He is very scary, when there's a stranger. I mean, he's the sweetest dog. Like, if he knows you and you come in the house, he's fine. But I pity the stranger that would ever try to come in this house with that dog. He's very, very protective of me. So that makes me feel a lot better with, having Kane in the house. Okay, I'm just going to set my face with my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. And I'm going to spray a sponge a little bit with that and set under my eyes just with the setting spray. That was very, very scary. If you ever want to hear the other story where there was a break-in, I would be happy to tell you that too. You guys, I'm telling you, I have had so much happen in my life, and it's almost like either, okay, she can't make this up, or, I could see where people would be like, oh my gosh, how can all this happen to one person? But it's been bizarre, it's just crazy how things always happen in our family. But and where my house is, there's like a street, and then our house is right at the end of that street, and you can only turn left or right. So we're right there. So maybe being at the location where our house is, maybe that's why we had this encounter. I don't know to this day, you guys. But again, it was very, very frightening, and hope to God that never happens again. Okay, you guys, let's try out these lip plumpers, but look how cute of a box this came in. A very just cute packaging. And it looks like the foundation, it's a little light, but you guys, I can always make it work. I can always add, some darkener to it or pigment. So it came in like this little container. As you can see, or here, I'm probably starting to sound very nasally. The allergies are kind of kicking in. Okay, so let's see. There's 3 different shades. Okay, so I think what I'm just going to do, because I know these are just kind of lip glosses, is line my lips, and let me see the shades first. Maybe that might tell me what to use. So let's see what the packaging looks like. Ooh, very pretty. Ooh, so it's nice, like a nice peachy um, shade here. I don't know how pigmented they're going to be. They just look like a little bit of pigment with some plumping action. And this one is a first kiss. This one looks just a little bit more peach. Ooh, now that one does have some pigment. So that other one might be more clear. Last one is first sight. Now this one is the clear. Okay. So that is just clear. So let me go back to that first one and just see if I can get more pigment maybe. I just have to move things around. So it's just a very, very slight peach. So I'm going to use that second one, I think, with this look. Okay, so I think the liner I'm going to use is by Makeup Revolution, the Sofx collection. This looks like it might match. So yeah, I think this one's going to be good. First kiss. So let's go in with that. And this is the applicator here. It goes on really smooth. And let's see how stingy this is. As of right now, I don't feel anything, so that can be a good thing. But yeah, it really does add like a pretty shine. I like those. Those are really pretty. And I'll put in the description box, if they started stinging really bad or anything. But right now, I don't feel any tingling whatsoever. So hopefully they will plump up the lips. All right, you guys. So that is the end of that story. I think it's a good story for people to just always be on your guard and aware of your surroundings, because anything can happen at any time. I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but we just got to really learn to, be aware of our surroundings. And I am feeling more of a cooling effect than a stinging effect on my lips. Um, okay, let's just go through the products really quick, you guys. Yeah, of course, that primer, the eye primer. Yeah, I did not like that. It just looks, thank goodness it turned out okay, but it's a little patchy if you were to look really, really close. I do like that foundation as of right now. I think it's very pretty. It's very skin-like. Hopefully it stays like that. And I'll put in the description box, how it holds up. But right now it is very, very pretty. Let me come a little closer. Hopefully you guys can tell. But yeah, it is super pretty. I really like that. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, if you please hit the like button, I really appreciate it. And next week's story is going to be called Fire Starter. All right, you guys, I love you so much. And until next time.